Oh, I've got an update that we missed, to be fair, from a few weeks ago. Scoro have launched an MCP server, which is super exciting. This has been in beta testing for a wee while, but it's now fully available for everyone. And maybe if we just sort of strip this back very quickly, MCP was something that I thought was going to be the acronym of sort of 2025 that we'd all be talking about. As it happens, it kind of got drowned out by a few other things. But essentially, MCP servers are, I guess, really like the APIs of the large language model world. This is basically allowing you to connect ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, whatever your kind of large language model of choice is, to a piece of software, an additional piece of software, using an MCP server, so that you can then do things with that software through natural language. So that could be something like creating a new customer, it could be creating an order, it could be doing a whole bunch of things. And obviously it depends on what you connect to. And actually, just before we were recording, right now we're sort of briefly talking about this in terms of obviously firms and businesses are trying to make a decision about, do we choose Copilot, for example, and have that all sitting in our Microsoft technology stack, and have that additional layer of security that we have with that, or do we kind of go down the other route of maybe going down ChatGPT and having to like manage some of the complexities around data and control and other things? But this is here, and so effectively, Scoro's MCP server actually is very, very comprehensive. I had a quick look at the video and the demonstrations that go with it, and you could do a whole bunch of things with this. You can quite literally do about sort of 30 or 40 different tasks through the MCP server. So there's, and as anyone that uses Scoro will know, that it's got a huge whole bunch of functionality in here. But what I really like about the opportunity with MCPs is that, if I'm connected to Scoro, maybe I'm connected to Xero in the back end, I could be connected to Zapier, I could be connected to my Outlook and my emails. I can then draw up a whole bunch of context and do things and automate things through this natural language things. And this is one of the things that really, really appeals to me, because it allows you to then kind of orchestrate a whole bunch of different workflows and stuff from within that. And this is even before you start to look at, can you build like an agent over the top or do something a little bit different. So this is now here. Scoro do have some example use cases, which I think is always really helpful. So you can reschedule meetings. So within Scoro itself, there is kind of like a diary functionality, and that will link into Gmail and Outlook and things. You can add on meeting times. You can check on the project progress of either a single project or multiple projects all at once. You can get it to draft an email and send that out to a client to sort of highlight whether or not you're in front or behind your schedule. You can get it to pull data from a call and add that into a task in Scoro as well. So, which is kind of like then leaching into some of the other stuff that we've seen in our marketplace around meeting recordings and how to kind of get actions and tasks from that. So again, more and more challenge we're starting to see as a consequence of this. You can pull data from, say, HubSpot and push that into Scoro and create a quote in there automatically. So again, this is kind of taking you away from maybe using a product like Zapier to kind of glue these things together, but actually doing this in natural language. And you can also just pull a whole bunch of stuff from other data sources, maybe like say Gmail or Slack or Jira or whatever, to then highlight where things are at and get some real context over what's happening. So I mean, I'm a huge fan of MCP. I think there's a huge bunch of capability that you get from this, and it's really a matter of like trying to explore what softwares are adding to this in terms of what endpoints and stuff you can see, and how this is standardized. And I do think as a consequence of this, we've kind of struggled with natural language as a way of getting data out of systems, and for some things it's been very gimmicky. I'm not a big fan of, say, Copilot and Outlook, because I just think it's a bit rubbish most of the time. But actually, being able to sort of like say, right, hey, tell me where my 10 projects are in Scoro, and like give me an update on all of these things. And actually, right, if I'm behind on one of these things, can you like draft me an email to just update the client and just sort of say, oh, it's really sorry, we're behind on this. I think that's really cool, because from a user perspective, you'd be hopping in and out of lots and lots of products. And we've talked again over the last few years about how firms and businesses have been trying to rationalize their products because they're getting a little bit of app fatigue and don't like to hop between multiple sources of information. Well, this is a great way of like starting to aggregate and combine that data in a way that's interrogable, it's accessible, it's kind of easily summarized and things. And so maybe this will help to disperse some of that app fatigue that we've been experiencing.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this because I'm, as of recording, rolling out both Scoro and HubSpot. And although there is a basic integration there that exists, and you can expand it through likes of Zapier, what you've just described sounds amazing. So yeah, I need to tap into this once we've kind of done the initial rollout. So no, it's very powerful. And I know they've built out Eli, which is their kind of AI agent inside Scoro already, which is using data extraction and linking and automated interaction to some extent. So yeah, they've really led into the AI side, but in a very strategic way rather than it just being a token. Oh, we've got some AI chat thing in the background.